Good morning and welcome to day 4 of my 12 days of Easter, and today we're talking late March harvests and also going back to my compost trial. So one of the things that's still on the plot to harvest, although very small, are leeks. And it seems always really strange to have something that you're still harvesting and then you're starting the next batch. And in fact, I started these leeks on the 28th of December. That seems crazy. They've been in this tray ever since they were sown. I haven't pricked them out and they're looking a little worse for wear. So I'm going to prick these out and put them in some fresh compost. And while I do that, I'm going to send you back in time to last night when I went for an impromptu visit to the plot. I've had a quick swing by the plot, so apologies I'm not mic'd up. I wasn't thinking I would come here and film, but I was on the dog walk and thought I would just swing by because we brought the decking boards down the other day, and now that the beds are cleared, thank you Dory, now that the beds are cleared, Dory, what? You're on the camera, you diva. Now that the beds are cleared, it's a bit easier to put the boards onto the beds and kind of arrange them in different patterns and see what it is they might look like. So I've tried a couple of configurations. I think the one with the 4 in is probably the way that bed is going to go, but I don't have to do them all the same size, and I don't have to do them all with decking boards. In fact, I think my cousin has got some pallet collars that she doesn't need, and some of the plot won't be raised beds. I mean, the squash bed at the front will probably stay as it is. I need places to put the sweet corn and the potatoes that don't need really to go into raised beds. The raised beds are just really a way of me being able to manage the space a little bit better, especially with the grass paths which tend to creep onto the beds, and also to contain the compost that I'm bringing onto the plot, because if I just dump it onto the beds, because there are trenches around the beds, the compost can just fall into the trenches and just sort of get lost really. So this is a way of containing that so that the plants that I'm planting are actually in the compost that I'm putting onto the plot. While we're here, I was asked on day 1 about the layout of the plot, because I did the little plot tour, but it can be, and I get this, it can be hard to get a sense of it in its entirety. Now, I don't have a drone, but this is my attempt at capturing it, but I have got a diagram at home as well, so I'll add that in over the top. I think that's the best I can do to fit it all in, but I'll overlay the diagram now, and that'll hopefully give you a better sense of the space that I'm working with. While we're here on the plot, I thought I might just grab a few things for dinner. Although the plot seems very empty at the moment, there are still things growing in here, particularly in this brassica bed, which has been netted against the pigeons, although horse had rather bolted. But I'm going to just see if there are any kalettes. Come under the netting. Well, there it is. Yeah, I'm not sure there's really any actual kalettes on there, but there are little sort of sprouting heads now, so we could harvest a few of those for dinner, I think. Oh, we could get a leek. If we're going over to the leeks, we better take Dory with us. We know it's her favourite place. You going to the leeks, Dory? Going to the leeks? Come on then. To our favourite bed on the plot, the leek bed. Now, these went in super late and I didn't have much hope for them. But you know what? As little baby leeks, they're not so bad. Let's pick the fattest. I think you might be the fattest. There we go. A not very impressive leek. Okay, a couple of baby leeks. And the other thing we identified as a potential harvest was that celeriac. Let's give it a go. Well, none of that harvest will be winning any prizes, and it will probably make less than 1 meal, a side dish if that. But hey ho, I don't know, It's all good, isn't it? I just love anything that I'm picking off the plot, whether it's impressive or not. So anyway, that was a little impromptu visit. I don't even have anything to carry these home in, so I'll probably be going home in a plant pot. But I will take my bounty and head home. So I often get asked in the comments about what I do with the food that I grow, and sometimes I can be imaginative and do some quite exciting things with the food, but you know, most of the time I roast my veggies, and that's what I did with the stuff that I got back from the plot last night. And you know what, there was some actual eating in that bundle. There was definitely a good portion of celeriac out of those roots, and the leeks went in, and the kalette sprouts, and I also harvested some of the Australian tree cabbage sprouts from the front garden, the plant that I've got on there, and I had wild garlic, and it all just went into well, the root veg went into the oven, and then I steamed the greens, and you know what, made for a lovely dinner. And it's so fulfilling and so satisfying to eat something that you have grown, especially at this time of year when there really doesn't seem that much about, but you have a little hunt around and there is still stuff to eat. So while you were away, I pricked out the leeks. These are leek Atlanta. As I say, they were sown at the very end of December. I'm very thankful to have finally been potted on. So not long after I sowed the leeks, I sowed my onions. I think it was the second week of January. And with my onions, I did a comparison of two peat-free composts. One is, I'll show you on the spring onions here. One is SylvaGrow and one is PlantGrow. And the initial results of this trial were that the PlantGrow far outstripped SylvaGrow, which was a surprise to us all. Now, it's several weeks on, a couple of months on, and this is what we have. So there's not really, I would say, much in it anymore. I mean, that's on the spring onions. Let's check the onions. So the onions, this is the SylvaGrow side and this is the PlantGrow side. You can see how much less germination I had for the SylvaGrow side. And actually some of these are the PlantGrow because I ran out of spaces on this side. Let's have a look at those. There's really not much in it now. If I had to make a judgment call, I might say that the PlantGrow was slightly stronger, slightly greener. But yeah, they're pretty much of a muchness at this point. But they need potting on again. So they've been in these cells for quite a while. I think I asked on my video a couple of weeks ago, what should I do with these? Are they ready to go out? Do they need potting on? And I believe it was Danny from Grow Up said, pot those things on. You want them nice and big before they go out. So I'm going to get these into larger cells. And my spring onions, what do you think about the spring onions? Let's have that for my question of the day. Should I pot on these multi-sown spring onions, or do you think that they can go out in the bed now? I'm thinking they could go out in the bed. Let me know. So we'll concentrate on the onions for now. And oh, these are Red Baron, was that right? Yes, Red Baron onions. I've also got a couple of Bedfordshire Champion, which I sowed when I did the leeks, but they didn't grow very well, but they're looking okay now. So anyway, to do this, to continue the experiment, I need to get some SylvaGrow and I need to get some PlantGrow and pop these on. So a new twist to this experiment is going to be that I'm not going to sieve this time. The SylvaGrow is very fine. The PlantGrow has a few more woody bits in, and I had to sieve that very well. I mean, I sieved both for the purposes of the experiment, but certainly the PlantGrow needed it, whereas the SylvaGrow, I think you could have got away with it. But that's an advantage then to the PlantGrow. So this time I'm not going to sieve because the plants are a little bit bigger anyway, and we'll see if that makes any difference with how these grow on. I am just massaging the compost to get rid of the lumps. That's okay. I'll allow that. And the other thing that I'm going to do differently for this part of the experiment is not add any perlite. So for all the previous sowings and potting ons, I used perlite, but for this final, because this is going to be the final potting on before they go out, I'm not going to use any perlite. So it's just compost v compost. Okay, there we go then. So round 3 of our compost trial, PlantGrow versus SylvaGrow. This is the PlantGrow side, this is the SylvaGrow side. Obviously there are more of these, but we'll see how they do in round 3. If you're interested in my compost trial, check out my playlist of the videos here. And if you missed yesterday's episode, check that out here. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow for day 5.